ride to the counter fire to get the hell off my land.
Lady, you got 2 shells in that bird killer.
Then I just shoot you twice, just to be certain.
Bass is out traveling so much for his work, and then Lauren E. Banks running the home front there. So she's quite captivating in this show. What was it like for you to work with her?
An absolute dream, just an absolute dream. We searched far and wide for that character, and you know, I've produced a few shows now. I don't think I've ever had an audition tape have quite that effect on the brain trust as hers did. It was just such a no-brainer, and that continued to be the case as we shot it. You know, chemistry is something that you can't predict, but I certainly felt that with her. I completely bought our family, and my goodness, do I buy her and Demi Singleton as mother and sister as well. She just brought so much to that role, and for an actress of that stature to go along for the ride of that character that is tethered to domesticity in a way that, to be perfectly frank, not every contemporary actress is in a rush to lean into, but she manages, as you say, to bring such a compelling energy to it, and I'm eternally grateful to her for that.
The character herself and Lauren's portrayal of her is very strong, bold, kind of suffers no fools kind of character. And you see that from the very first scene we see her in and throughout the show.
You know, she is a match for Bass. You can completely understand why he gravitated towards her. You can understand why, when he spent many years away from her, he goes to find her when he thinks things are safe to reemerge again. She gives off an energy and feels like a person who is worthy of and warrants that level of dedication, and that's not easy to do.
I have a duty, swore an oath.
Like the one you swore to me when we married.
David was saying that your audition was so compelling, like one of the most compelling auditions that he's ever seen. So can you tell me a little bit about what your audition process was like, how you came to this show?
Yeah, well, it's funny because it was obviously it was coming out of the pandemic, so
right.
Zoom auditions became a thing, you know, during and throughout that experience for us. So it was my first time doing an audition on Zoom and doing a self-tape on Zoom. So typically I have somebody in the room and I can do my self-tape with a live person, but I called up my classmate from my drama school classmate, and I was like, hey, can you do this tape with me? What was central about the tape and why I called that classmate was because there was a synergy between Bass and Jenny that I knew needed to exist even in the audition level. And this person was like my scene partner all through like drama school at Yale. So I was just like, we already have that for free. So we have that. And then I can just focus on telling the truth. And that's what I did. I was like, how can I get out of the way so the spirit of this woman can come through? And how can I do that in the very short amount of time that I have to knock out this audition? And also, how can I adopt a Texas dialect and, you know, make it be believable and not cheesy to people that I know are from Texas who wrote our show, like Chad Feehan, you know what I mean? So, yeah. All those things went into the audition process, and I think it worked out. I didn't know David, but I knew of his work, and he was somebody who I really looked up to as an actor. So to be able to work with him was awesome.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Because you two are so captivating on screen together. So what's he like as a scene partner and a producer?
Right. Extremely thoughtful. There's a grace to David that he moves he moves with, and an awareness of everything and everybody at the same time, and in an understanding of responsibility as a leader. But it's really both the courage and the softness as a leader that is important. And it can't be muscled, even though I know he's playing a really, you know, strong guy and, you know, someone who is a vicious, like, kind of competitor as it relates to bringing in the bad guys. But that had to be juxtaposed to what we saw at home for him. And so that permeated, I think, into the relationship between Jenny and Bass. And And I think that's also something that is multifaceted about like all human beings, that there's no one side of them. And so I think the best actors of our time offer a lens into that human spirit that is multifaceted. And then as an actor opposite him and still a student always, I'm like, got that. Yep, that's what we're doing today. That, let's bring that energy. So and I think, I guess that's what he recognized in my tape too. So we did that. We did that together, and it was so fun and very collaborative. And I never felt like I wasn't on a team, Yeah. That we were truly teammates, and therefore could play true partners on screen and not just husband and, traditional husband and wife. Like Jenny and Bass are teammates.